What's up everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about 3 ways to get what you want out of life. I do have notes down here because I want to be very clear and specific on what I'm saying. So if you see my eyes glancing down, it's because I'm looking at my cell phone because I'm not an actor and I don't memorize anything. So, step 1. In order to get what you want, you have to become extremely clear on exactly what it is that you want. If you don't know what you want, you're not going to be able to take the proper steps to get it. It seems really simple, right? If you don't know what you want, you can't get it. So step 1 is being super freaking clear and aware of what you want. This manifests itself in my life in many different ways. So one of the things that I'm working on right now, and I actually just talked to a dear friend about, is figuring out the qualities that I already have and how to transcend them and bring those qualities into figuring out the person that I want to become. So the way that I kind of view life and I view myself is that every season I have a new evolution of myself. Kind of like Pokemon. Now, I'm not really a Pokemon person. I don't know that much about Pokemon, but I know that Pokemon evolve. And I like to say the same thing about us as humans. Each season, whether it's a year, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, you are evolving into a different version of yourself based off of the past versions that you were. So an activity that I created and have actually walked one of my friends through is taking the qualities that you have currently that you love about yourself, the things that you really adore, and then write them down on a piece of paper in the present tense. So I am, or I have. And then the second part of that is start to think about the qualities that you see in other people that you don't necessarily think that you have yet, but that you know you want to have those qualities. So those could be people like your mom or your older sister or cousin, or maybe even people on YouTube or Instagram, people that you really admire, and take those qualities. And when you're going over to your list of what I have / what I want, and creating your new avatar, your new evolved self, I want you to write out those qualities as if you have them. I am patient. I think before I speak. I honor the people that I'm talking and connecting to. And speak to yourself as if you have those qualities. If you're not clear on those qualities, it's okay. Take some time, brainstorm. You're gonna figure it out, because when you think about the qualities of things that you want, it's gonna excite you and maybe even scare you a little bit. So, recap. Step 1, become extremely clear on what it is that you want, and then write it into your future, whatever that looks like for you. Step 2. You need to learn to voice your needs, either if it's to somebody else or even to yourself. So I want to talk about 2 different things here. The first thing that I want to talk about is how to speak to yourself. We as humans tend to be very hard on ourselves. We are probably way harder on ourselves than anybody else is harder on us. And that can be really detrimental to our own help and awareness and our growth, our evolution. So my advice to you is learn to talk to yourself as if you were talking to a child, whether it's your own child, or I like to think of it as my inner child. So I want to talk to myself as if I am talking to my inner child, almost as if I can go back in time and talk to my inner child, knowing what I know now, but also knowing that it's okay to make mistakes. And the mistakes that we make, the life experiences that we have and will help shape us into the person that we are today. So be kind to yourself. You wouldn't constantly put down a kid. You wouldn't constantly speak to them in this negative, resentful, angry voice, because that's not how we speak to children. We want to nurture them and love them and show them how to process through their emotions. So start treating yourself as if you are talking to your inner child so that you can grow and evolve and love yourself. I mean, that's really what it's all about. The other thing that I want to talk about is how to communicate with other people, and especially people who maybe aren't in the same place on their journey as you are in yours. And my biggest advice for this is to really honor and thank them for sharing their perspective or experiences with you, but also to really stand your ground. And a part of this is going back to step one, which is figuring out exactly what it is that you want. And I want to share a little situation that had happened with my mom. I can get a little emotional sometimes, and sometimes I make bad choices. And I constantly call my mom because she's my mom, right? I want to talk to her. I want her to reassure me. And, you know, we went through many years where my mom was still in teaching mode, where she felt like if I called her for something that she needed to teach me a lesson. Well, I'm about to be 30 years old, and I finally said to my mom the other day, after a very traumatic experience that I had, where I already knew that I had messed up, I was beating myself up about it, like 100%. Like anything that she would have said to me, I was already speaking in that negative, toxic voice to myself tenfold, okay? And I finally said to her, I said, Mom, I'm already beating myself up. I know that I fucked up. I'm calling you not because I want you to chastise me and tell me that I fucked up. I know. I need you to be my mom, to support me, to help me navigate through this situation without judgment. And it wasn't an easy conversation to have with her, but let me tell you, a couple of weeks later, I went through another situation, and I called my mom, and I wasn't going to say anything to her about it. I just wasn't going to. But the thing about my mom and myself is the second that I called her, she knew something was up. She could just hear it in my voice. And I remember saying, Mom, something happened, but please don't judge me. And she said, okay, not gonna judge you. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, right, you always do. You always yell at me. But I told her what had happened, and she said, I'm not judging you, and I don't want to get into too many details because it's not appropriate for YouTube, but she was there for me. She supported me, and I mean, guys, I was like hysterically crying at the situation that had happened. I was super hurt, super upset, and I just felt so betrayed by what had happened. And I, in the past, was expecting my mom to chastise me and to tell me that I was in the wrong and that I fucked up, and I didn't need that from her, and she didn't do that. And in the middle of my hysterically crying over what had happened and talking to my mom, I paused and I said, Mom, I'm so fucking proud of you. Like, you heard what I had said to you a couple weeks ago. You listened, and you're doing exactly what I told you I needed from you. And since then, my mom and I have been able to have conversations about how we need each other to show up in each other's lives and how we can best support each other. And acknowledging her growth based on the feedback that I gave her was just life-changing for the both of us, because she needed to hear that I acknowledged. She needed to hear that I was proud of her, that she heard me and she was making changes. And in return, it makes me want to show up even more for her, and it's strengthening our relationship. So learn to really stand your ground, right? Get clear on what you want, but communicate those needs with the people that you feel like you need to. And then in return, ask them what you can work on to best support them. Another situation which isn't as rainbow and sunshines as that one is I recently posted a video on YouTube which was a little taboo, and I got something from some close family members of mine who just didn't agree with my choice to share that with the world. And I had a conversation with this person, and I said, I thank you and I honor you so much for, one, feeling like you can come and talk to me about this and share your opinion and your perspective with me. I honor you. I honor the place that it's coming from. I know it's coming from a place of love and you worrying about me, but I feel so deeply rooted in what I'm sharing and why I'm sharing it. I need you to respect that. And in that moment, I was validating that person for sharing with me, speaking their mind, but I also was standing up for myself and saying, I feel good about what I'm sharing. I chose to share this for a very specific reason, and I need you to respect that as well. So, to repeat step 2. Step 2 is all about learning to voice your needs. Step 3, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying in step 2. Praise, praise, praise. And even step 1, talking about an inner child. When somebody is battling with something that either they're going through or you're going through, speak to them from a place of kindness. Talk to their inner child, right? Speak to them from a place of growth and evolution, kindness, care, and you're gonna get more positive feedback back from them when you are coming from a place of nurture. And this is something that I'm working on a lot in my own self, to myself, but also to the people that I have relationships with. And that goes back to praising them, going back to my mom, really like telling her how proud I am of her for working on herself and working on the things that I asked her to work on in our relationship. And acknowledging your own self-growth. Like my mom and I just had a conversation with how far I've come, and I have started speaking so much more kindly. I don't teach English. Oops. But speaking kinder to myself and learning to acknowledge and praise myself for the growth and evolution that I've had and am in transition of having. And it feels so good. And just imagine, like, when I think back to my students or my old nanny kids, when you praise someone and you acknowledge their growth and their work, it makes them want to keep going. And that's what it should be all about. Especially when, it's something that you've asked them to work on or that that they've been struggling with. Praise, praise, praise. Acknowledge their growth. Acknowledge how proud you are of them. And in doing so, you're going to continue to support them and even yourself. I was telling my friend earlier today, we literally talked for like so long on the phone. And I was telling her that one of the ways that I best show up for myself is by showing up for other people, by helping other people in being a pillar and a support in those, like the people that I care about, their lives and your life, like people I don't even know. That is my reminder for me to stay strong, stay positive, talk to myself as if I'm speaking to my inner child, and to really manifest and shape the evolution of who it is that I want to be. So, recap step 3. Praise, praise, praise. Yourself, others, any growth that somebody is having, small or big, praise the heck out of it, okay? These are my 3 steps to help you get whatever it is in life that you want. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments or you can relate to anything that I've said, please go ahead, comment down below. Also, guys, please, 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 please subscribe. Hit the like button. click the little bell notification thingamajigger, share my channel. I'm really trying to grow, like a lot. It's really hard and I'm not a businessy person. Like, please, I left sales for a reason. I'm a teacher, okay? So if you can share my channel, like ask anyone and everyone to follow, subscribe to all of my social media platforms. We are So Natural Ally on Facebook. We are So Natural Ally on Instagram. And then obviously So Natural Ally on YouTube. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. I love you. You've got this. Make good choices.